Hi everyone. I thought it was worth talking to you and give you an update on the property market, because now we've got the madness of stamp duty out of the way. Things are going back to normal. So with my estate agencies, for instance, the latest figures we've got are pretty similar to where they were 2 years ago. So the madness of having 10 or 15 buyers for every property is ceasing, although there is a lack of stock, which is causing the market to be strong still in certain areas. I think London is on the wane. It's had, surprisingly for a lot of people, it was holding up very well. I don't think it is quite so much now, so that's something to be wary of. The rest of the country seems very good, but what you've got to remember is what's coming down the road. So what we know is coming is inflation, and I think that could go to as much as 10%, which it was in the 1970s. I know people will disagree with that, people who probably have got far more experience of economics than me, but perhaps not so much experience as life as I've got. Seen most things, survive 3 property recessions and all the rest of it. So what I would say is that the market is getting easier to buy deals in. We've noticed that in the last 6 weeks with the auction market, which is the best barometer, don't forget, because whatever happens in auctions happens everywhere else 6 months later normally, and the auction market is softening, so it's getting easier to buy at auction. That doesn't mean you should necessarily buy at the moment. Perhaps you should just sit on your hands a little bit and see where the market's taking us. There is a great demand still for housing. That will remain, I'm sure, but the economics could get tough this year. If interest rates go up, say just 1/4 to 0.5%, that's a huge jump for a lot of people compared to what they're paying now in terms of cash. So I think from here to Christmas, I think it's a case of watching, looking, seeing how the market works in your area. And don't forget, it's a micro market really. So unless you're buying all over the UK like we are, and we're seeing lots of differentials in terms of values from agents as well. Some agents are more bullish than others when you ask them what you think these are going to be worth when they're finished. And the other thing to remember is they're not going to be finished for perhaps 2 years or 1.5 years or a year. So it's very, very difficult to put some prices on these things. So I would be careful. Building costs are still looking expensive. Materials are still going up at the moment. So I would just say be careful, be wise. If it's a great deal, do it, of course. And if you have any great deals that you can't fund yourself, then my joint venture fund will be delighted to hear from you, and we can fund your project 100% and share the profit with you 50-50 if it's good enough. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please go for that to John Howard Joint Venture Fund.co.uk and we'll see what we can do.